institutional framework, they're more effective. Now, talking about the states, the way the law is in this country, all the 36 states are countries. They have sovereign. We call them sovereign at the end. Nothing has changed. And they have the local government arrangements. Now, what I have found over time, since I've advised one of them, is that they are focusing on two sources of income. One is what the statutory revenue allocation go to Abuja and share with us. The other is what you call internally generated revenue, which is good because taxes and stuff. But if you are not effectively following your trade and exchange, you don't know where the taxes are. But by far the most important unit is social enterprise. Isn't able to say, for example, if you have schools, and there are many of them, that are on the same level as King's College or Queen's College, you're unlikely to send your children to private fees, expensive schools. And the amount of income you make from that is beyond belief. Now, I always like to give an example. Before 1984, all Olympics failed. The states will lose money, the country will lose money. Then Peter Ibarot came and said, look, Olympics doesn't have to fail. And it started by what is called, at the base of it, volunteering. From volunteering, you moved into what you call apprenticeship positions. Before you got to paid positions. Ever since that format was adopted, no Olympics, winter or summer, has failed. So it's not too far from us financially. So I mean, what we're saying basically is that you have a situation where the state's governors and see what they call it again, security vote, has been the vote of the whole state. And they're just playing around with just IGRO and SR. But no one is doing anything with social enterprise. No one's doing anything. As big as London is based on social enterprise. Most of the things you see there are done by aldermans, the city center, even in Washington, the DuPont Circle. I don't see any reason why Shell cannot build a city center around Tafawa Square. We have no city centers at all. People just go to work and go to sleep. There's nowhere around Lagos where you can go to a cinema, you have a shopping mall. It's normal city centers. None.
Well, we do have shopping malls that have...
You know, put them within a Brexit jurisdiction. And then you have a situation where you have a crisis of traffic in Lagos. You have no orbitals. The roads all come in like this. There's no way to escape from it. And it's been like that day in, day out. Those are income points. You want to buy buses for Lagos. The buses in London are not owned by the City of London. They are owned by individuals. All the government needs to do is to provide a framework for the rolling stocks to come in. You can deliver, if you can create the routes that are effective, you can deliver 10,000 buses in 2 weeks to Lagos, if you know the routes. All you need to do is to pay the drivers and the servicing of it so that the income goes back, because you have a responsibility as a state. Now, but when you're trying to buy buses, you think you have to make margins on them and hold them back. You can't do anything. If every time you're trying to do something on behalf of your people, all you're looking at first is the margin, you're not hiding to nothing. Thank you.
So, so at the end of the day, we'll go back to what do we do?
The way forward.
A young man from Ghana came into Lagos.
Yes.
I happened to meet him at a restaurant, and he was asking someone, says, that median that runs all the way from Ikorodu down to Lagos Island or down to
the BRT corridor.
Yes. No, that's not the BRT. The median.
Okay, the median.
Yes. He's saying, why is it so wide? And he said, if you leave me alone, put a rail line there instead of the BRT. So the rail line runs from Ikorodu all the way down to
TBS.
To TBS. Then you can have, so instead of the buses, that's for the states now. Does it take, is it rocket science?
It's not rocket science, because my friend around here, Lamata, did, that my brother. And I know that when he created the BRT line, the idea was made to eventually put, instead of having one bus come, you can have trains come like 10 or 20 buses at the same time. See, but you see, the situation we have, like I've told you, there has never been an alignment between public good and private interests. All we've done is further and nest within private interest without looking at public good. And when I hear many economists argue, oh, we don't want market system, anytime you measure markets here, they see you as trying to set out a system that can oppress you. I mean, our trade documents what you call an LC, you know the abuse of the process that is going on. Whatever theft you're seeing pales into significance. Someone tells you he's going to bring 1 cup in, or 30 cups in. He only brings in 10 at a price that's twice that value. Or someone says he's going to buy a plane that is 5 million brand new. He brings in a used one at 50 million. So I mean, see, we're just becoming a joke, unfortunately. And what I see, what I can give this government credit for, is that there seems to be the will, at least, to police corruption and all of that. But policing corruption without following the money, you really are hiding to nothing. So you're waiting for it to finish before you say, oh, let's catch you. And I think we're more sophisticated than that. And we must not run our government with a tad of cronyism. I need to know you. It's about the concept and idea. If it works, let it work. I mean, it's...
I think you talked about what do we do. I think we should look at, and what to do is, like I said before, it's obvious. I think that what you need to do is that we have to get back to a system where people have to get... There's no part of this country that does not have any endowment. There's no section of this country. Now, what is happening is that you've created an environment that has no incentive, nobody has been forced. And so, like I said earlier, we must address that factor where we shift from how do we share this thing to how do we produce. That's very important. And the government should begin to get out of running business. We've been talking about this since the 80s. Middle 80s, when we introduced this structural adjustment program. It's all about getting the government out of business. Okay, so the government should be charged with giving the environment. Look at the environment. Look at Lagos environment. I was coming up this morning. I had to leave my house so early because I was told that there was an accident on the road and the road was almost impassable. And I was told
FRS.
This church somewhere down the road. Today, Mountain of Fire. I mean, and so on and so forth. Look at the loss in productivity. I recall that some years ago we had the opportunity to have built a metro line in Lagos. We didn't do that. So government should concentrate on putting the environment. Government must change the incentive system structure within the economy in such a way that people know that if they don't produce, they will suffer. And that the person that produces is not penalized. Those are the key things. We begin to now do our budget and now implement our budget the way it should be implemented. Even the budget which I give kudos to the executives, even within the election environment and framework and so on and so forth, they still put in a budget. So that's commendable. That shows some professionalism. But what I'm saying is that when you put in that budget, and you know that 2 months down the line, you are going into an election, and the chances are that you don't know what's going to happen. So what budget are you putting? So you're putting that. As I was coming, sometimes if I'm sure I had the right thing. Somebody also is presenting the budget because somebody, of course, knows he's gone. Now, that budget you're presenting, if the person that even if it's someone that comes, he's not going to adopt that budget. And so that is being done. But even when you do that, that budget was presented in December. You go to the Fiscal Responsibility Act, the budget should have laid before the National Assembly in August. And so you do that. And then we've been saying that the National Assembly should have a budget office. And so that was part of the rancor you have with the budget process, implementation, and so on and so forth, is that you wait until the end. The legislators will now start telling you that we have responsibilities to our constituencies, and so you don't have all these constituency projects and so on being injected into the budget. Now, if you have budget office of the Federation, and you have a National Assembly, they have their budget, and there's collaboration as you're implementing this thing. And so if you want certain things to be put in, because yes, okay, you represent the section, and they're saying to you, since you've been there, what have you been able to bring to us? And so you want to put that, and that should be given and take and so on and so forth. And the certain things that can go into that budget as it's being prepared. And not when it's prepared. And then you prepare the budget, the national budget. Then you now give the Senate to the National Assembly. The National Assembly now goes and starts inviting those who did the budget, who they get to the executive, who the executive now put together, based on its perspective on how it wants to drive the economy. And you call them individually and say, look, do this for me, and I'll do this for you, and so on. And you distort the whole thing.
All right. Mr. Chize, we'll take a moment. We'll come back to continue the conversation. Please don't go away.